Looks like this in front of you, if I may. I think I'm up before any of that is.
On behalf of the Washburn University Board of Regents, the faculty, administration, and staff, I welcome you to this commencement in Washburn University's 152nd year. And now, please remain standing and join members of the Washburn Singers under the direction of Dr. Kevin Kellum in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. I want to thank Dr. Kellum and the Washburn Singers for providing our national anthem music today. The music department is such an important part of Washburn, and we are so pleased members of the Washburn Singers are here. Let's give them a round of applause. Also, please join me in expressing thanks to Mrs. Norma Pettijohn, organist, and the Washburn Faculty Brass Quintet for providing music today. I would like to direct your attention to the international flags surrounding the commencement platform. In recognizing Washburn University's impact locally, nationally, and globally, the flags that have been posted represent the countries of the world which have had students attend Washburn. These countries are represented by flags above the commencement platform, and by flags along the sides of the podium represent countries which currently have students attending Washburn. And now, Mr. Scott Weinkoff, incoming Vice President of the Washburn Student Government Association, will introduce the platform party.
To the graduates, congratulations. To the friends and family, thank you for your enduring support. And to the faculty, thank you for the time and effort you constantly give to create an exceptional educational experience at Washburn. I would like to introduce a platform party. Please stand as I call your name and remain standing until all are introduced. Dr. Diane McMillen, Professor, Human Services and Grand Marshal. Dr. Eric Grossbich, Vice President for Student Life. Dr. Richard Lidke, Executive Director, Enrollment Management. Dr. Mike Mustaine, President of Washburn University Alumni Association, Board of Directors. Mr. Jim Martin, Vice President for Administration and Treasurer. Ms. Cynthia Holthouse, Special Assistant to the President. Dr. Pam Foster, Equality Opportunity Director. Mr. Clark Coco, Dean, Washburn Institute of Technology. Dr. Vicki Kelly, Associate Professor, Allied Health Department. Dr. Jim Smith, Professor, Social Work Department. Mr. Bill Sneed, Board of Regents. Mrs. Blanche Parks, Board of Regents. the Honorable Larry Wolgast, Mayor of Topeka, Board of Regents. Miss Grace Sawyer Jones, Honorary Degree Recipient. Dr. Julian Mazicek, Vice President for Academic Affairs. Dr. Pat Munzer, Dean, School of Applied Studies. Mr. John McGivern, Chair, Board of Regents. And Dr. Farley, President. Let's give them a round of applause.
One of our platform party members, Dr. Diane McMillen, Human Services Professor in the School of Applied Studies and our Grand Marshal, is retiring after many years of service to Washburn University and its students. Please join me in a round of applause thanking Dr. McMillen and wishing her well in her retirement. There are 3 other platform party members that did not get introduced, and I want to make sure that they do. They are the deans of our schools, which are very important. And we have David Sollers, who's Dean of the School of Business. We have Dean Monica Scheibmeyer, who is Dean of the School of Nursing, and Dean Laura Stevenson, who is Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. It is now my pleasure to introduce the President of Washburn University, Dr. Jerry Farley.
Good recovery.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. What a gorgeous day to have such a wonderful ceremony. This is a time to celebrate the completion of a milestone in your education. You have reached your goal of obtaining a degree, and you have earned the right to be proud of that and to celebrate that achievement with your family, your friends, and our entire academic community. We all congratulate you on a job very well done. Your success is due in large part to your own efforts. Nonetheless, you could not have achieved this pinnacle without also having supportive parents, family, friends, faculty, and even alumni. They have served as mentors, they have served as role models for you, and now you must assume greater responsibility as a citizen of our great country. Take some time today to thank all those people that helped you to be here today. You made a life-changing experience and decision when you decided to come to Washburn University. You have attended a great university. I know you have had a wonderful education experience. Your graduation reflects the achievement of a dream you had for yourself, and likely a dream that others had for you as well. Now, you're ready to think about your future. It's your responsibility now to begin to fulfill the expectations, and very high expectations they are, that this education and your dreams demand. You have met the expectations you set for yourself thus far. You have learned things on your path to becoming a college graduate that will serve you in your careers and in your life. You will use the skills which you have developed in ways that it may be hard for you to even imagine today. So why did you choose to pursue a college education? Many students, perhaps even some parents, would say they believe that the purpose of the college degree is about getting a good job. Well, that is important, but we know it is much more important than that. You have earned an education, not just receive a degree. A college education indicates achievement, and to a great extent, it reflects a persistence and a discipline that you have. Your presence today at this graduation ceremony indicates that you have the talent and that you have the intelligence to succeed. You likely have overcome many hurdles and challenges to be here today. Perhaps you had second thoughts and anxiety about your ability on some late nights before an exam. But you worked hard. You developed the discipline required to succeed. This ceremony that we're all participating in is steeped in tradition. The music that was played as you walked in, the gowns, the funny little hats that you're wearing, the faculty robes, the colorful hoods, the ceremonial march into this arena, the oaths of honorary and fraternal organizations, the mascots, the nicknames, the songs that we sing are all part of this rich heritage that you now belong to as well. This ceremony links the past and the present directly to you. You perpetuate these traditions, but now you must do more. You must join a community outside this cloistered university life and further develop your skills, maybe your skin too. You have learned a tremendous amount during your time at Washburn. You have mastered your discipline. You have learned how to think, how to listen, and how to act. You have the sheer intelligence necessary to succeed. Creativity and innovation have become a part of how you act and how you react. And no doubt, you have the drive to succeed as you enter the workforce. Permit me a few moments to share some suggestions to help you thrive as you move forward in your chosen profession. Skillfully develop your ability to identify what is meaningful and important. You should be able to focus, and sort through the many factors, identify the most critical of those factors, and bring a sustained expectation, attention, and pressure on those most important factors. To focus, find meaning and fulfillment, and you must excel at filtering the world. Cut through the clutter and zero in on the issues, the facts, or the events that really matter. Distinguish between the important and the superficial. Place less value on all that you can remember and more value on the things that you must never forget. Great leaders, such as yourself, all have this ability. And certainly you have learned or you have honed this ability while you've been at Washburn. Leadership is important to us. You have had the opportunity to develop those skills, and you likely identify many of the types of leadership that you have learned about while you're here. Innovative leadership, situational leadership, primal leadership, authentic, and perhaps most important, servant leadership. And that's important to us because our motto speaks of our call to servant leadership, non nobis solum, not for ourselves alone. It means we should strive to contribute to the greater good and not just to our own self-interest. While this kind of servant leadership undeniably helps the broader community, you will find personal rewards in the fulfillment of a meaningful life. Now, leadership is often defined by traits and characteristics that you've heard these before. Know your values. Be hopeful. Be prepared. Love people. The military identifies such leadership characteristics as loyalty, duty, respect, honor, integrity, courage. All good leaders definitely have most of these traits and most of these characteristics, but having a trait does not make you a leader. Leadership is concentrated and focused on the future. And great leaders have the ability to rally people to that better future that they see. Leaders like yourself are relentless for change, impatient for progress, and dissatisfied with the status quo. One author suggests that to be a great leader, you have to have optimism and you have to have a strong ego. This is the underpinning, in his view, of what leadership is about. Optimism. Leaders must believe that positive outcomes can and will come and be achieved. Great leaders must be able to see the future vividly and distinctively. They cannot be cynical, jaded, or disillusioned by others or by the capriciousness of fate itself. Of course, great leaders cannot be wide-eyed dreamers or disillusioned by the realities of life. They must be realistic about the challenges, but above all, they must truly believe that any obstacles in front of them can and will be overcome. Ego, as I said, leaders must have strong egos. Leaders need strong egos, but those egos must be tempered by strong principles and a strong ethical underpinning. In fact, I would suggest we change that word strong egos to something like independent, self-assured, or self-confident. Being self-confident is different than being an egomaniac focused on just one's self. Leaders optimistically and confidently envision the future, and they believe that they can make it happen. One important question is, can leadership be learned or are leaders just born? I believe that any of us can learn to be leaders or be better leaders. Effective leaders accept each person with whom they work as different, but the leader focuses not on the differences, but on what we all share, what we have in common. Leaders have the ability to vividly paint a picture of the future and describe how each one of us, each individual, will be a part of that future. A leader conveys hope, which draws people closer and develops a sense of that shared vision that can come true. Every society, every organization is anxious about the future. Every individual is anxious about the future. There's an inherent fear about what the future will bring. As leaders, you must transform whatever our fears are of the unknown into a confidence of the future. And you do that by helping them focus on what we all share. The most effective way to turn fear into confidence is to define the future in vivid terms, through actions, words, images, so all can see where we are headed and all can be a part of it. Leaders make any weakness irrelevant. They build on self-assurance of the team members. They build on confidence that core strengths will make everyone successful. Effective leaders have a clarity that engenders confidence and persistence, resilience and creativity. Leaders are optimistic and can define the future positively and with clarity and have the self-confidence to believe that they can make it happen. These are qualities of truly great leaders. You are joining that rank. You are truly, truly great leaders. You have that opportunity. And for that, Washburn is proud of you. And everyone in the room today challenges you to use your Washburn education to live a meaningful life of leadership. Congratulations on your completion of this step in your lifelong quest to learn, to lead, and to serve. Non nobis solum. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Farley. Mr. John McGivern, Chair of the Washburn University Board of Regents, will confer an honorary degree to Dr. Grace Sawyer Jones.
We invite everyone to turn to page 26 in your program to read about Dr. Jones's accomplishments. Be it known that inasmuch as honorary degrees are awarded to men and women who, because of scholarly contributions, meritorious public service, or other noteworthy achievements, have come into universal high regard, the Board of Regents of Washburn University does therefore confer upon Grace Sawyer Jones the degree Doctor of Humane Letters with all the rights, privileges, and insignia pertaining thereto. In testimony whereof, this diploma is issued with the signatures of the President and Chair of the Board of Regents and the seal of the university affixed at Topeka, Kansas on this 13th day of May, 2017. Grace Sawyer Jones, for your leadership, your support of higher education, your dedication to helping others, Washburn University honors you and itself by conferring upon you this honorary degree. In token thereof, I cause you to be vested with the appropriate academic hood and grant you this diploma.
You don't have to.
It's such an honor to return to the place that began my foundational education. As I said to a group last night, my father insisted that I hadn't finished school till I finished college. And the professors here kept me here until I finished college. And then lo and behold, I kept going and going and going to the point where then my family thought perhaps I was going to be a professional student. We don't have to worry about that. But I am so pleased to see the number of you who are here today on your journey for your education. Congratulations to you. I'm humbled by this honor that you've given me here.
You're a pro. Let me tell you.
The road to graduation from Washburn University should offer students more than the completion of an array of courses that is then rewarded with a diploma. Graduates should be given the opportunity to be transformed by their Washburn experience. The goal of a higher education institution is not to turn out graduates, but to graduate students who turn out to be highly principled citizens who make a difference in society. Students pursuing an undergraduate degree have the opportunity to participate in up to 4 different transformational experiences before graduation. These Washburn transformational experiences are described on page 6 of your program. Today, we would like to recognize those students who have completed 1 or more WTE experiences by asking them to stand. Thank you, students. That really is an experience that distinguishes their Washburn experience. Each year, the School of Applied Studies recognizes one student from each academic department with the award of an Excellence Medallion. This award symbolizes noteworthy contributions by a graduating senior in scholarship, community service, international experience, and leadership. Would the following School of Applied Studies 2017 Award of Excellence recipients please stand to be acknowledged? Lydia K. Gibson, Allied Health; Kelsey A. Schellenberger, Criminal Justice and Legal Studies; Patricia D. McCourt, Human Services; and Haley K. Normandin, Social Work. Congratulations, students. We are very pleased to have a student representing Saudi Arabia and graduating with a degree from Washburn University at this ceremony. Would our international student from Saudi Arabia please stand to be recognized? Dr. Farley will now introduce the Sibberson Award finalist and recipient for the School of Applied Studies Spring 2017 graduating class.
Thank you. Thanks to a very generous gift to Washburn University by Erna and Gretchen Sibberson, an award has been established to honor the most deserving students selected from among the highest-ranking members of the senior class in the undergraduate program at each commencement. Based upon her academic performance, one student has been selected the Sibberson Award finalist and recipient from the School of Applied Studies for the spring. Lydia Gibson, would you please stand? Some of her many, many accomplishments are listed in your program beginning on page 27. Lydia is graduating with a Bachelor of Health Sciences degree in Health Services Administration. Lydia and her family and friends, we extend our congratulations on your outstanding academic achievement. The Sibberson Award Committee met and the credentials for the finalists were confirmed. Lydia, will you please come forward to be recognized as the School of Applied Studies Spring Sibberson Award recipient? You make a lot of noise with all your awards.
Don't forget the important part.
And one more important thing. You'll love it. I'm going to skip the rest. Congratulations, Lydia. You are an outstanding student. You're going to make a very valued contribution to your field and to all of us. Congratulations.
President Farley, regents, students, parents, families, and friends, at this time, we have a degree to award posthumously. To help award the degree, would Dr. Pat Munzer please come forward? It is our privilege to award a posthumous degree to Brian Scott Arellano, who passed away March 1st, 2003, before he could complete the requirements for his Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice. Brian was a graduate of Newton High School. At Washburn University, Brian was committed in his focus to completing his bachelor's degree with the future goal of a career in law enforcement. Would Brian's mother and father, Stacy and Jim Arellano, please come forward to accept Brian's diploma? To honor our Sibberson recipient as well as all of our graduates, both here and those who can't be here, we have a special presentation of a piece that was created specifically for our 150th anniversary celebration, Ichabod's in All We Do. The lyrics to this piece were written by alumna Phyllis Hoffman and can be found on the inside cover of your program. Thank you, Washburn Singers and Dr. Kellum.
Washburn, we yearn to one day your bright halls, books beneath arms, past peaceful waterfalls. A sunlight gleams, so many dawning dreams, echo from the tower, chiming every hour. Washburn, Washburn, we vow to care, to strive for justice everywhere, to show our colors bright and true. Ichabod's in all we do. Although we leave your warm embrace, the waiting world is a wondrous place. Washburn, Washburn, we vow to care, to strive for justice everywhere, to show our colors bright and true. Ichabod's in all we do.
Thank you so much, Washburn Singers and Dr. Kellum. We shall now proceed to the conferring of degrees. We ask that parents, relatives, and friends use the area in front to the right of the stage designated for taking photographs so as not to obstruct the graduates or the professional photographers. Will the candidates for the master's degree please rise? President Farley, those before you and in absentia are candidates for a master's degree. I am pleased to present to you now for the conferring of their degrees those who have completed the requirements and have been recommended by the faculty.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of Washburn University, I hereby confer upon those who have completed the requirements the appropriate degree with all the rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Please be seated until the marshals call you to the platform.
The master's degree is the highest level of educational attainment in the School of Applied Studies and represents more than 30 academic credit hours of advanced study beyond a bachelor's degree. We are preparing to award master's degrees to 79 students today from the School of Applied Studies in Allied Health, Human Services, Criminal Justice, and Social Work. As they are making their way to the podium, please join me in a round of applause in recognition of the special level of accomplishment of these graduates. Candidates for these degrees will be presented by their academic dean, Dr. Pat Munzer.
President Farley, I present to you the candidates for the Masters of Arts, Masters of Criminal Justice, the Master of Health Science, and the Master of Social Work degrees.
I think we just did that. Yeah, yeah.
Two at a time. Master of Arts, Jessica Marie Eccles, Kathy Janet Johnston. Demetris Lavette Agundu, David Brian Simmons. Mendy Lynn Thompson, Anthony DeMarco Whitfield. Master of Criminal Justice, Eric Geiger Campbell. Yolanda Navette Davis Easterwood. Shelley K. Robinson. Nancy Tellez. You're going to have to come over.
That's right.
Just one at a time.
Okay. One at a time.
Master of Health Sciences, Emily Catherine Getz. Gregory Allen Slocum. Angelica Renee Willis. Master of Social Work, Nikki Joy Alawode. Fadawa Al-Harbe. Katie Jean Anno. Brandy Lynn Burton. Latanya Marie Butler. Robert Charles Carrigan. Erica N. Kreider. Akita Charday Crowder. Jessica Renee Cummings. Lindsay Elizabeth Curtis. Allison Nicole Day. Alexa J. DePriest. Megan McGee Dickinson. Courtney Dana Evanson. Allison Joan Foley. Christina A. Franklin. Abby Grant Galen. Cesario Garcia. April Lynn Gibbs. Ashley Ann Gilson. J. Jason Griever. Joel Daniel Hardy. Amy Jane Hartman. Bryn L. Hooper. Katie J. Hurla. I'm sorry, Kelly J. Hurla. Cassie James. Sarah Ann Kaminsky. Joseph Allen Jordan. Stacy Ann Jordan. Cassandra Grace McMillen. Abby Kaylin Leechner.
Top first.
Melissa May Nelson. April Renee Neff.
Casey Janae on the side.
Lori Ann Phillips. Casey Janae Porter.
Laurel Plumy.
Krista Laurel Reynolds. Retina Plumy Rich. Amy Lynn Schmelzer. Henrietta Davida Shaffley. You have to read this one.
Okay. Second one is Suderman.
Joseph Michael Smith. Kimberly Ray Suderman. Bethany Ann Thurman. Audrey M. Turbridge.
Deshawn.
Joseph Jameer Deshawn Umwer. Cheyenne Elizabeth Whistler.
And now let's give our master's students a round of applause. Will all candidates for an associate's degree or bachelor's degree please rise? President Farley, those before you and in absentia are candidates for the associate or bachelor degrees. I am pleased to present to you now for the conferring of their degrees those who have completed the requirements and have been recommended by the faculty.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of Washburn University, I hereby confer upon those who have completed the requirements the appropriate degree with all the rights, privileges, responsibilities, and honors pertaining thereto. Please be seated until your row is called by the marshals. I think I read that, I remembered it correctly. Yeah, she's not going to do it over again, is she?
We are proud to welcome 136 bachelor degree graduates and 121 associate degree graduates as new alumni of Washburn University. Candidates for these degrees will be presented by their academic dean, Dr. Pat Munzer.
President Farley, I present to you the candidates for the Associate of Arts, the Associate of Science, the Bachelor of Applied Science, the Bachelor of Health Science, the Bachelor of Legal Studies, the Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice, and the Bachelor of Social Work degrees.
Thank you, Dean. Please proceed to receive your diploma.
Associate of Arts, Gabriel Aiden Ramirez Byrne. Nicole Dawn Kitzman, School of Applied Studies Honors. Andrea Janine Roselle.
Tegan with a long T.
Okay. Tegan Hope Thompson, School of Applied Studies Honors. Luke P. Wishman, School of Applied Studies Honors. Yeah.
Associate of Science, Bailey Alexander, Allied Health Honors. Joshua Logan Allen. Parker Elise Arnold, Allied Health Honors. Aaron Michael Bailey. Shri Yukra Bandra, Allied Health Honors. Anna Christine Beaver, Allied Health Honors. Jordan N. Blacken, Allied Health Honors. Jared Wayne Brown. Michelle Renee Bozart Baldwin. Corsia Jean Burstow, Allied Health Honors. Joel Allen Brokelman, Allied Health Honors. Vincent Buchanan, School of Applied Studies Honors. Brooke Annika Carlson. Ashley Nicole Kaler, Allied Health Honors. Pablo Cervantes, School of Applied Studies Honors. Brittany Leslie Sin. Hunter Victoria Cleland. Shelby Ann Cooper. Alicia D. Coral, Allied Health Honors. Ryan William Chrysler, School of Applied Studies Honors. Caitlin Olivia Daniels. Kathleen Marie Dodson, Allied Health Honors. Cody Marie Elbert, Allied Health Honors. Tana R. Erzin, Allied Health Honors. Joyce Ann Gauthier, Allied Health Honors. Emma Marie Gilmore, Allied Health Honors. Erin Marie Habik, Allied Health Honors. Sarah M. Healy, Allied Health Honors. Kendall K. Hefner, Allied Health Honors. Crystal Renee Horde, Allied Health Honors. Nicholas Holman. Briley Claire Horn. Deland Douglas Hunt. Brianna Elizabeth Ish. Leilani Renee Jones. Melissa Sue Jumper, Allied Health Honors.
Carney.
Abby J. Carney. Marie Nicole Kelleher, Allied Health Honors. Nicholas John Kilmer, School of Applied Studies Honors. Catherine Ann Kasky, Allied Health Honors. Courtney J. Kosh. Valerie Renee Kraft, Allied Health Honors. Perry Janelle Krogman, Allied Health Honors. Blanca L. Lewis. Rebecca Jane Lopez, Allied Health Honors. Matthew W. Madison, Allied Health Honors. Corey Renee Myers, Allied Health Honors. Edria Lee Meserson. Madison Sean Moser. Alicia Marie Newberry. Ashley Dawn Nichols, Allied Health Honors. Victor A. Ortega Lejos, Allied Health Honors. Sarah Ashley Pires, Allied Health Honors. Daniel J. Pfeiffer, Allied Health Honors. Taylor Ray Powell. Stacy Marlene Putoff. Logan G. Radcliffe, Allied Health Honors. Bailey Jean Reynolds. Elizabeth Ann Rifle, Allied Health Honors. Erin Janelle Reifkogel. Lanny Madison Rochester, Allied Health Honors. Matthew David Salerno. Andrew Ian Sanchez, Allied Health Honors. Michael C. Seeley Jr. Toby Michael Siebert. Brianna Mary Schrom, Allied Health Honors. Bryce Dwayne Taylor, Allied Health Honors. Aubrey Nicole Thompson. Shanielle Trinette Toms. Megan Leanne Throm. Taylor Ann Unrein, Allied Health Honors. Lindsay Marie Unruh, Allied Health Honors. Michael Todd Venice. Kaylee Lynn Vanderpool. Maggie Joy Viergiver, Allied Health Honors. Lauren Wagner, Allied Health Honors. Christina Marie Weiser, Allied Health Honors. Todd Benjamin Wellborn, Allied Health Honors.
Wyand. Okay, Wyand.
Christina Ann Ryan.
Okay. Zabatriski.
Jessica Renee Zabatriski.
Okay.
Okay.
Bachelor of Applied Science, Ward R. Bankston, School of Applied Studies Honors, magna cum laude. Hannah Ray Britton. Christopher C. Dugan. Callie N. Haas. Mackenzie Maria Mapes, Human Services Honors, summa cum laude. Patricia Diane McCourt, magna cum laude. Jaime Nolan Myers. Miranda Lynn Burden. Devin Lynn Warren. Lisa Dawn Welsh, Human Services Honors, cum laude. Bachelor of Health Science, Carla Jo Boyer. Sorry. Allison Taylor Bristol, Allied Health Honors, magna cum laude. Raymond Matthew DeRosset, cum laude. Caitlin A. Dieters, Allied Health Honors, summa cum laude. Lydia Catherine Gibson, Allied Health Honors, summa cum laude. Tyler Eugene Gleason, Allied Health Honors, magna cum laude. Alexis Marie Glessner. Ashley Janae Haste. Bridget Ann Cook, Allied Health Honors, magna cum laude. Melissa Lee Love, Allied Health Honors, summa cum laude. Laura Lee Ann Lafferty. Michaela Nicole Marstall. Mary Susan Payton, cum laude. Katie Lynn Snyder, cum laude. Francis Gabriel Stenick, cum laude.
Bachelor of Legal Studies, Zachary Thomas Adams. Sophia Ann Brunati, cum laude. Joshua Tyler Buck. Brittany Jean Curtis, cum laude. Nikki Lee Ditch. Catherine Jacqueline Rangel, Criminal Justice Legal Study Honors, cum laude. Kylie Nicole Fleck, Criminal Justice and Legal Studies Honors.
Okay, Jamisha.
Jamisha Mahindra Gandhi. Taylor Cheyenne Hartner, Criminal Justice Legal Studies Honors, summa cum laude. Brian James Hodge. Sarah Ann Nordine. Corinne Nicole Payne. Cynthia Lee Richley. Megan E. Serler. Clayton Danielle Teese. Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice, Carlos Gabriel Aurelio Rojas. Diente Fine. Michael Christopher Hefferan. Caitlin Nicole Huron, Criminal Justice Legal Studies Honors. Sarah N. Keenan Davis, Criminal Justice Legal Studies Honors, cum laude. Michael Dean Krasnation. Lonnie D. Larson, Criminal Justice Legal Studies Honors, magna cum laude. Jess M. Lewis, Criminal Justice Legal Studies Honors. George Spencer Matthews. Saul Alejandro Monteon, Criminal Justice Legal Studies Honors. Jordan Michael McAllister. Lorenzo Joseph Mendez. Aaron Michael Plum, Criminal Justice Legal Studies Honors. Taniqua Elaine Robinson. Juan Michael Miguel Ramos. Rubit Sandoval. Kelsey Ann Schellenberger, Criminal Justice Legal Studies Honors, summa cum laude. Kristen Leanne Talley, sorry. Christopher Allen Tomlinson, Criminal Justice Legal Studies Honors, cum laude. Alexa Shanti Westover. Bachelor of Social Work, Sylvia Nicole Alarex. Arsenal. Miranda Jean Carisco, magna cum laude. Caitlin M. Christie. Camille Alexandra Cortez, cum laude. Yesenia Carol Kudek. Christina Renee Dimron, cum laude. Madison Elsa DeLuna. Sherry Renee Hasten. Catherine Hedworth. Lindsay Marie Hughes, cum laude. Samantha Dawn Jacobs, magna cum laude. Jamie Elise Jimenez. Kaniqua Diamond Monique Jones. Catherine Marie Jordan, magna cum laude. Danielle Lauren Larson, cum laude. Stephanie Catherine McNeil, summa cum laude. Caitlin Marie Myers, cum laude. Haley K. Normandine, summa cum laude. Normandin. Rachel Marie Orr, summa cum laude. Jasmine Nicole Ortega, cum laude. Evie Marie Seastrom. Alicia B. Speck. Kayla Marie Shroud. Sarah Ann Vinson, Social Work Honors, magna cum laude. Samantha Lee Wawasik. Yolanda Danielle Wilson. Aida Zalida, magna cum laude.
Let's give our associate and baccalaureate students another round of applause. Before concluding the ceremony, graduates, I would like to underscore that this is a moment of transition. You entered Lee Arena as the final step of your current journey in your educational process. You entered as a Washburn University student, and you leave today as a Washburn University alumni. You begin your exciting future by joining thousands of proud Washburn University alumni. In that regard, it is now my pleasure to introduce Mr. Mike Mustaine, President of the Washburn University Alumni Association Board of Directors, and he will have a message for you.
Thank you, Dr. Mazachek. President Farley. On behalf of more than 43,000 Washburn alumni, I congratulate you on your great accomplishment. You're joining alumni from across the nation and around the world, who all have the same thing in common with you and me. We are all Ichabods. Like them, you have developed a permanent and lasting relationship with Washburn, and your continued involvement will help shape the university for generations of Ichabods who will follow in your footsteps. Throughout the rest of your life, the Alumni Association will continue to keep you connected to Washburn and your classmates. Take with you the packet of information, either on your chair or in the back as you're exiting. It is our gift to you and includes, among other things, a complimentary one-year membership in the Alumni Association. Being a member of the Alumni Association is all the fun of college without homework and tests. Without homework and tests, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be afraid to get involved. Be a part of the fun. Your fellow alumni will welcome you with open arms. We wish you happiness, good health, and prosperity. Congratulations.
Okay, we have one more very important activity. Will all the graduates please rise and remain standing? Okay, first, congratulations, graduates. As a symbol of your great achievement, first of all, we have to start with make sure that your tassel is on the right side. Okay. Please move your tassel to the left side of your mortarboard to indicate your new status as alumni. We conclude the spring 2017 commencement with the singing of the alma mater. The words are located on the inside cover of your program. The Washburn singers will once again sing for us. Please remain standing for the recessional. Graduates, family, and friends, we at Washburn wish you the very best in your future.
Of our college dear, our song. Washburn, Washburn, we love thee well. Ours is the joy, thy praise to swell. With voices free, we'll sing of thee, and ever thy praise will tell. The winds for the music make.